Through Australia's National Hydrogen Strategy, the Australian Government hopes to engender hydrogen power generation by 2025 and continue further to implement hydrogen power supply chains and expand international and domestic hydrogen exports. Although hydrogen power is currently used, this is created using gasification and steam methane reformation, which leads to carbon emissions through the use of fossil fuels. However, through electrolysis, or the extraction of hydrogen from water, clean hydrogen power can be created and no carbon emissions are produced. Hydrogen is a common element on Earth, which is found in water, coal, and petroleum. It is often extracted for industrial use through either fossil fuels or water. Hydrogen cars enable this usage of hydrogen to power themselves instead of releasing it to the environment, enabling it to be a more environmentally friendly alternative. Hydrogen cars take chemical energy in the form of hydrogen and convert it into chemical energy through a battery formation, very much enabling it to be a car powered by an electric motor. The Australian Government has currently invested $146 million for research and feasibility reporting in the use of hydrogen power. Support from the National Energy Resources Australia will help build the hydrogen industry cluster to develop and drive industry advancements in the hydrogen power sector. The Jemena Western Sydney Green Gas Project is an example of investment in the hydrogen power generation. Seeing an investment of $15 million from Jemena and the Australia Renewable Energy Agency, Jemena aims to use electrolysis to convert solar and wind energy to hydrogen power and will be used to support the hydrogen vehicle industry in Australia. Hyundai's hydrogen-powered fleet of cars, the Hyundai Nexo, makes use of hydrogen fuel cells to reduce emissions from cars. The fuel cell electric vehicles support Australia's hydrogen economy, as well as the government's climate change policy, with a reduction of emissions to net zero by 2050. With respect to Australia's trading economy, it is within its best economical interests to support clean energy usage, as 3 of Australia's top 4 trading partners have committed to using low-emission fuel sources. Globally, there has been a great intake of hydrogen fuel cell usage. For example, in London, there are 10 hydrogen-powered buses servicing the public transport network. Similar plans are being introduced in Australia, specifically New South Wales, where the government plans to introduce 50 hydrogen buses in 2022. This here is an example of a hydrogen fuel cell. On the left side of the cell, there's the anode. This is where hydrogen enters the fuel cell. Some of the hydrogen exits without any effects, creating H2 recycling. The other hydrogen will pass through the gas diffusion layer and will split in order to connect to the catalyst. On the other side of the cell in the cathode, oxygen enters the cell. Some of this oxygen is unaffected and is released as air. However, some passes through a gas diffusion layer and splits in order to connect to a catalyst. Electrons are then taken away from the hydrogen connected to the catalyst and goes to create an electric current that gives off energy to power the cell. The hydrogen passes through the proton exchange membrane, which is in the center of the cell, and reconnects with its electron and oxygen to create water. This water then leaves the cell as water vapor, a byproduct of the hydrogen cell.